All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna say all praises be to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. And then I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the sincere elected in truth and faith and sincerity. And the title of this video is My Servants Shall Eat. My servants shall eat. And of course, in recent weeks, we've all seen the news and information over there, like in Babylon, in terms of Trump and these certain benefits and stuff being cut, and obviously like all over social media and TikTok, we're seeing Jake, basically saying hey, when these cuts do come and stuff, that they certain of them plan to raid shops and get the things they need to obviously take care of their kids. Of course, we know that, like a lot of these videos that we're seeing online, are probably artificial intelligence, but still that narrative out there is out there, man, and of course exists. And of course, just in general, when push comes to shove, when people don't have food to obviously feed their kids and take care of the kids, these people of course gonna lose their minds and go into stores and loot and do what they need to do to feed their families, right? But what these people don't understand is mass starvation is coming out here, man. The actual scripture says there be many that dwell upon the earth that shall perish of starvation and famine, man. But what we do know according to the scriptures is that the Lord is always going to make a way for his elect and take care of us, Lord willing, in these times. And when these times get absolutely worse. So the first scripture I want to read, this is Isaiah 33:6. And it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Yeah. So this wisdom and knowledge is gonna help us to be stable in them times, because we read these words and we read these stories, and we obviously have hope. In fact, if we get Romans 14, right? Sorry, 15, right? And 3 and 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, man. So through faith, right? Through comfort of the scriptures, we obviously have hope in these times when a time of hopelessness, is out there. Because a lot of these people are gonna lose their minds, man. A lot of these people are gonna lose their shit. A lot of these people are gonna perish of famine. Right? This is like an Ezra's, all right, 16 and 21. I'm gonna start from 17 actually. All right, as I get second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginnings of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, man. And we're actually seeing that take shape. Right? Great sorrow, right? Great mourning, great famine. Great death is coming upon this earth, man. The scripture speaks about the evil arrows of famine, right? And that's what's about to take place. Because certain scoffers always say, "All right, well, you're talking about this evil and this death and this judgment that's about to come upon earth. Well, what are you gonna do when these things come?" Well, we as the hopeful elect, if we've been chosen from the foundation of this world, if we're of that number, then essentially speaking, the Lord is gonna make a way, right? Through them miracles, right? Through being fed. Because really the power like in which we serve, he is the true power, man, and he controls everything. So it's not out of the realms of the Lord's power to just make food appear before our face. Find ways for other people to take care of us, and or even make us stumble across certain bunkers and things whereby just food is there. And we've seen certain examples throughout the scriptures. Anyway, let's keep going. It says, "Behold, famine, plague, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment." Yeah, and it's like when these evils and these judgments come upon earth, these things are coming as judgment, man, upon these people, right, that have scoffed against His truth, and just in general upon this wicked world, man, right? The earth is about to go, well, especially these westernized cities, they're about to go through like a great humbling, man. Right? It says, "But for all these things they shall not be, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges." Yeah, because when these things do take place, all right, these people ain't gonna think, yeah, you know what, maybe this is happening upon the earth because of our wickedness and our wicked ways. Nah, you know, you know what I'm saying? Because the college is dark. Anyway, he says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." And food now, right? Though things are increasing, the price of everything is increasing. It's cheap in comparison to what it shall eventually be when you have that hyperinflation. See, that hyperinflation, man, is another ball game. Another ball game. You know what I mean? I remember in school when we was learning about Nazi Germany and the Weimar Republic. Yo, the, the hyperinflation was crazy. Like food. The value of the currency was just going down by the second. So food prices and stuff seemed as if it was going up, and people, when you'd eat food in a restaurant, you'd have to shake hands on the price you're prepared to pay, because in the middle of eating your food, right, that expense could just increase because of the hyperinflation, man. So that's how bad things got, and that's exactly how bad things are about to get now, man. Anyway, it says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." That's what's about to take place, man. Many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah, because this mundane life that people have, just going to work every day and doing the things they do, bro. What's coming upon this earth, man, is gonna catch people off guard, bro. Much evil and much sorrow is coming onto this earth, because the Lord is going to bring judgment upon this place. The scripture especially speaks about in Daniel 12 that this is going to be a time of trouble such as never been so upon the earth, man. All right. Now, though that's going to happen and though these things are happening, we know and believe that the Lord is going to take care of his elect and provide for his elect. And let's get an example, all right, of that. This is a woman, sustain. This is obviously in Kings. I want to bring the example in Kings. Yeah, this is the prophet Elijah. This is 1 Kings 17:2. All right, let me start from 1. This is First Kings 17:1. It says, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. Right? And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. Now, point to make here is that, so he basically prophesies a time of trouble, you know what I mean, essentially for that time, in terms of, there being no rain, right, which leads to, much issues, man, affecting crops, famine, and much more. And it says, but here, the Lord is telling him that whilst this is happening, I'm gonna provide a way for you to be all right. And that's exactly what what's happening here. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So, like, this just shows you the power of the Lord here. The Lord is telling him, look, basically, I've sealed the instructions of these ravens to take care of you. And that's exactly what they did. So he went, he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. So he was being fed twice a day, right, with cooked food, bread and flesh, all right, twice a day. And he had water too. So whilst everyone else was catching hell and dealing with what they was dealing with, the Lord made a way for him. So in that time, we actually won't need to, go house into house and come with guns and knives and swords to, steal our neighbor's food or whatever it is. No, the Lord is gonna provide for us and our families, no matter where we are, if we are his elect. Anyway, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow to sustain thee there. So here, the Lord is basically telling him he's basically sealed the instructions like of a lady to take care of him. And it's funny because it just shows you when the scripture says how the Lord sealeth the instructions and how everything is planned. Because this lady he's about to meet in the story, she actually, when she sees him, doesn't even know him like by face or know who he is. But in the course of the day, she basically does what the Lord said she was gonna do in taking care of the prophets. So essentially, her instructions were sealed to take care of him. All right. So anyway, he says, so he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of the sticks. And he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called her and said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And she said, as the Lord thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go it and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat and die. And Elijah said unto her, fear not, and go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after me, and make for thee and thy son. For thus saith the Lord power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, unto the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon earth. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and he and her house did eat many days. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord which he spake by Elijah. So basically, right, the Lord made it where by that food, that flour and the oil when she had, it was basically, you know what I mean, basically like a portion that just didn't end. She was able to just make food for her family, right? Where it just didn't stop, and she and her son and the prophet and her house was good, and that was in the midst of a famine, and that just shows you the power of the Lord, man. So that just ties perfectly well to Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah 65 or Isaiah 60. Yeah, I'm gonna start from 12. Therefore, will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and the truths that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord shall slay thee and call his servants by another name. So essentially, man, the servants of the Lord, Lord ruling, we are his elect, are going to be absolutely good and fine and taken care of in this time. As all you people who scoffed at this word, who scoffed at this truth, who scoffed at the men of the Lord, you're going to be going through holy hell. And no matter where we are with our families, our children, right? The Lord is gonna provide a way for us to be all right and taken care of. So yeah, that's just a point I wanted to talk about, and I hope and pray it was an edifying video. So with that, I say all praises be to how about Shema Shaba Shema Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great most don't. Next time I'm gonna say Shalom.